Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another journal with me video. Today's journal with me video is a special one because it is part of a collab for Junk Journal January. So I've been involved in the Junk Journal January and Junk Journal July collaborations for the past couple of years. And basically it is a month-long challenge for free that you can join in on. Anyone can join. It is hosted by Meg Journals, who I will link down below, and she has created a prompt for every day that you can use to inspire you and to get you journaling in your journal or art journal. So this year's Junk Journal January collab is a little bit more special because there are a lot more creators involved. So there is going to be a new video shared for every day of January by a different creator involved in the collab, and each creator is going to represent a different prompt for each day. So there's a different prompt for every day, and there's going to be a different creator representing that prompt with their own journal with me style video. So all of that's going to be linked down below. If you're just finding out about this now or just joining in now, you're going to have a whole bunch of really great journal with me content to catch up on and to binge watch. Or if you've already been following along, there's a whole bunch more videos to look forward to for the rest of this month. So today is my day and my prompt is top 5. And so I've come up with a bunch of ideas for the top 5 prompt that I picked between. So I'm going to give some of those ideas to you now, and I'm also going to put them into a list which will be down below, and I'll also probably create like a little graphic for you guys just to give you some different ideas for how you can tackle this prompt. So you can perceive the prompts for each day in however which way you like. You can respond to them however which way suits you or inspires you. You don't have to do the same response that I have done. But the one that I did end up doing is top 5 photos. So actually just recently I just upgraded my phone, but I had not upgraded my phone for probably 5 or so years. I always like to just use them until they're no longer working. And just recently around Christmas time, my old phone, the camera stopped focusing, which is a big problem for me. It's one of the main features that I use on my phone. So that prompted an upgrade for me. And the journaling prompt that I decided to do for top 5 was my top 5 photos. So like I said, this was just before I got a new phone. So I didn't actually know that I was getting a new phone yet. But it was really fitting, I feel, for me to go through my phone at this time and to go through my entire camera roll, which was over 13,000 photos to go through, and to narrow it down to my top 5 photos. So it was really hard to narrow it down, but this was a really good activity, I feel like, for the time in my life. So moving on to a new phone, a fresh phone, but going through all of my old pictures and picking my favorites to reflect on. So it was hard to narrow it down, but ultimately I ended up picking photos that I liked for different reasons. They're pictures of my family, they're pictures of me with my family, or pictures of my kids and my family members, and just pictures that have become special to me for one reason or another. They aren't like professional photos or anything like that. They're just my favorites because of the candidness about them or something about them, and that's what I journaled about in the spread. So I placed the photos on the page in different ways, and then at the end of the video or at the end of the journaling session, I went in and added my journaling, which was about why those photos were special to me. So the photos that I picked were different orientations. I had 3 portrait style photos and I had 2 landscape photos. So what I decided to do was put the 3 portrait style photos on one side of the spread, just straight down on the page. I did decorate the page a little bit first, so with some old music paper and a really cute little fox image that I've been hoarding for a while. And then I added some labels as well to give me a little bit of journaling space around those pictures. And then for the 2 landscape photos, I included them on the opposite side of the page, and I decided to stick them on top of 2 envelopes, so 1 envelope each. And one of the envelope just opens up traditionally, and then the other envelope I sealed closed, and then I snipped off the edge of one side and made it a side loading pocket. And the journaling for those 2 photos is going to be tucked inside those envelopes. So this was just 2 different ways to include the photos on the page, just to give it a bit of variety, an interest, an interaction. And then at the end of the session is when I add my written journaling. So some other ideas that I was picking between for the top 5 prompts, and I'm going to include these up on the screen. So if you don't like the idea of doing your top 5 photos, hopefully this will kind of get your brain ticking, give you a couple of other ideas. So you could do just your top 5 favorites of something. So that could be your top 5 favorite books, your top 5 favorite movies or supplies. It could be your top 5 favorite self-care activities, or your top 5 favorite things that you own. You could do your top 5 favorite quotes, top 5 favorite things that make you happy, top 5 favorite memories or childhood memories, your top 5 favorite things to do on your own, or you could do your top 5 years that have shaped you as a person. So those were kind of the main ideas that had come to me when I was thinking about what I wanted to do for this prompt. I'm sure there are hundreds of other ideas that you could come up with for top 5, so don't feel like you have to pick between these, but these were just what I was interested in, and so I was just picking which one I would like to respond to the most. And another thing is you don't have to just pick one. If you have multiple that you would like to respond to, and this goes for every day of the Junk Journal January prompt, if you have multiple ideas that you'd like to do, you can always go ahead and do them. You don't just have to stick to one. You don't just have to do one page. You can do multiple pages, multiple spreads, multiple responses to the prompts. So there's no rules. You can tackle it however which way you feel inspired. I think that's really important to make it an enjoyable experience for you as well. So here you can see on my page I've added everything down, all of the elements to the page, and I've added some spaces for me to journal, and now I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I've written directly on top of one of my vintage linen printables. I've written directly on the background of the page. I've written on the labels around the photos, and I've also written on the journaling cards or the lined cards inside the envelopes on the page. So this is typically how I always journal. I always like to just add all of my bits and pieces to the page. So my photos, my ephemera, my decorations, whatever it may be. And then I like to go in last with my pen and just fill in all of those little gaps with my journaling. This process just works well for me with creative journaling. That's just how I like to do it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this little journal with me video. Let me know down below if you are taking part in the Junk Journal January challenge. I'll have everything linked down below if you want to check it out and get involved. Make sure you check out all of the other videos in the collab for heaps of extra inspiration. And yeah, I hope you guys are all doing really well, and I will see you again soon in my next video.